Governor Walker has spent much of the weekend in Iowa, the key 2016 presidential testing ground. National polling consistently shows the governor in the top tier of candidates for the 2016 GOP race. Walker recently made his second trip of the cycle to New Hampshire, which holds the first presidential primary in 2016. WISN 12's political reporter Kent Wainscott followed the governor to New Hampshire, and he joins us now on Up Front. Ken, it's good to have you back on the program. Thanks for having me. Well, by just about any measure that we have available to us, the governor appears to be doing what, pretty well in New Hampshire? Yeah, he's the front runner in a lot of the polls there. He's very well received at the Republican events that he's gone to in recent weeks. We talked to a lot of Republican voters in New Hampshire who seem to really like his story here in Wisconsin about taking on the public employee unions. You know, he's not an official candidate yet. He tells me this is just sort of a listening tour that he's doing, but he really is pushing that story about his Act 10 reforms here in the state. He believes that sets him apart from the field of other potential Republican candidates there.
I think what Americans want is the same sort of thing that Wisconsinites want, is they want people to work together to get things done. And I think despite some of the partisan critics that might be out there, the reality is you'd be hard-pressed to say that we haven't gotten things done in the state of Wisconsin.
Assuming you do announce and you do get in, when that happens, how will it look different? What will we see from you that we're not already seeing?
Well, right now, again, a large part of it's talking about big ideas and listening to people, but should I eventually be a candidate, I'll start spelling out specifics just as I have when I've been running for governor.
I also asked the governor about his timeline for announcing his candidacy, and he continues to say that he's looking at June after the state budget is signed.
I was also interested to see, Kent, that you caught up with Frank Luntz, who's a pretty well-known Republican commentator, political consultant. What does he think of Walker?
He thinks Walker is, at this point, exceeding everyone's expectations. He says that Republican voters see a lot in him that they like, particularly in the way he is taken on, he says, bureaucrats and the public employee union. So let's listen into some of his assessment of Walker right now.
In Iowa, there's much more of a social conservative priority. In New Hampshire, it's all economic and national security. So the very things that work for you in New Hampshire do not work in Iowa, and yet Scott Walker seems to be doing well in both.
So it's clear at this stage that Walker is very well positioned in a great spot in a field that has perhaps 15 or 20 potential Republican candidates.
All right, Kent Wainscott, our WISN 12 political reporter. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Governor Walker was in third place in the latest national Quinnipiac poll of the 2016 Republican field, behind Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush. You can stay on top of developments in Walker's expected campaign by following the Walker Watch blog. That's kept by our editorial partner, WisPolitics.com. WISN 12 News also caught up with Democratic State Senator Kathleen Vitaalt recently. She's now recovered from a car crash that sidelined her from running for governor back in 2014. She says the state Democratic Party would have to change significantly for her to consider another bid for governor. She also says she's working on bringing that change to her party.
And from the meetings that I've been in with people from all around the state, there is a growing consensus on what needs to be done. Change the governance and structure, change the attitudes among the party leaders that we have to win outside Madison and Milwaukee to win the state, and then change the message. Make sure that what we're talking about is not hyper-partisan, but it's about what's real, what's happening, what the facts are, and how that fits with our shared values.
State Democrats will elect a new party chairman in June. Coming up next, we'll continue our look at Governor Walker's 2016 candidacy with his evolving views on immigration.